Hello, Camp Intersect leaders. I'm Tony Bianco, your fearless leader for Unseen Camp Intersect 2017. I'm so excited you guys are going to be joining us this summer for really the biggest event at the very beginning of summer that we have. And Camp Intersect is a really fun and unique event for our rising 6th and 7th graders. It gives us an opportunity to connect with those brand new 6th graders who are fresh out of children's ministry in a fun and exciting way, and for them to connect with the 7th graders who have been a part of our student ministry for a full year now and are kind of got a little bit under their belt when it comes to student ministry in the hub. And so I'm excited that you're going to be a part of this summer and helping them transition, both of those groups, transition to that next stage in their middle school career. And Camp Intersect is a really fun way to do that. So a couple things I want to talk to you guys through. Instead of meeting together, I really appreciate you spending some time to watch this. I thought this would be better use of your time than pulling you to the student ministry on a Sunday for 2 hours to hear things that you probably may already know. But a couple things I want to remind you of. First, Camp Intersect is June 11th through the 14th. It's coming up, right? It's in a couple weeks here. We're very excited about it. I hope you are too. On that Sunday, June 11th, we are going to need you as a leader to register and to come to the Oasis Room here at the Loop campus. All right, the Oasis Room is right in the very front of the rotunda next to the FRC at 12:30. All right, so at 12:30, we're going to have you guys there. We're going to get you signed in, and then we'll have you seated at a table. We'll feed you lunch, and we'll have you at a table, which is where your small group, when they register, will come in and join you. And so you'll have about an hour or so, depending on how early some of those students get there, to kind of sit down, get to know them, tell them about who you are, as well as to tell them what their clan name is. So if you've not yet emailed me what you want your small group or your clan's name to be all week for Camp Intersect, I need you to let me know that. All right, we already have one, but I need you to let me know. And it can be as medieval or irrelevant to the theme as you want, right? So, I mean, whatever you want. It can be clever, it can be funny, it can be cute, whatever. All right, but we're just going to associate you as that clan for the whole week of Camp Intersect, because we'll do some different games and things like that whenever we are connecting and hanging out together. Okay, so that's where you need to be for that registration. We have you home by Wednesday at 12:30 as well. All right, so it's a really a 4-day total camp, but it's really 2 full days and 2 half days. So we're excited about it. It's going to be good. We've got about 85 to 90 middle school students right now, which is great from all of our campuses. And so we are excited to have those students here. And it is a large group of those new 6th graders, which is very, very cool. We are at Carolina Creek again. So if you've been to Camp Intersect last year, we returned to Carolina Creek there. It's a great facility. They've got a huge outdoor pavilion with basketball. They've got a great pool. They've got a blob and a slide that goes into a lake they call the Rock Dock. Middle school will have the opportunity to use their boats this year on the lake. So there'll be like banana boats and tubing and things like that. There's zip line, pamper pole, those types of things, gaga ball pit, 9 square in the air. But one of the newest things that they have is they built a man-made lake. It's called a cable park, where they have these cables that shoot across the lake, and you get attached to them, and you get on a wakeboard, and then this cable pulls you across on this wakeboard across this lake, which is really, really neat. And then there's also a lagoon that's right in there with a bunch of inflatable things for kids to play on, as well as a 40-foot cliff jump, which is very, very cool. One of the things I want you to know as for leaders is if you plan on going to this cable park, the Rock Dock, the boat, which plan on being there because your students will want to, go ahead and go to Walmart and get some water shoes. All right, they have some at Carolina Creek, but I'm going to be honest, they aren't very good, and you'll want your own size. All right, so go ahead, spend the $5, get those water shoes. You're going to need them. You'll want to have them if you're going to do anything in those lakes. All right, for the pool and things like that, you won't need it, but for those you will. So make sure you have that. All right, we're going to be scattered all around the camp, and so we have this entire side of camp. So you're seeing that now. And you've got the worship center. You can see kind of where all the activities and things are. But we're excited about going back to Carolina Creek. this year. Let me talk a little bit about the schedule. So you heard a little bit about registration, and that applies to the loop specific, right? Cypress and Sienna, you're going to be doing registration a little bit differently at your own campuses, but our goal is for all of us to arrive at Carolina Creek at 4 o'clock. So we're going to try to leave our campuses between 2, 2:30, maybe 1:30, depending on where you are. But we're going to try to arrive at Carolina Creek at 4. There, the Carolina Creek staff will do some orientation and some things like that, which is great. And then we'll send students out to their cabins to kind of get their stuff dropped off, find their bed, make sure we've got enough beds, all of those things. And so they'll go and do that. And then we've got dinner right at 5. And so you're seeing this now. You can kind of see where we're going. Dinner at 5, and that's for everybody. All right, so that's for the children's side of camp, the preteen side, and the student side. All right, and so typically we'll have kind of a shift for those, but for the dinners and breakfast, dinner the first night and breakfast for both the days, or all 3 of the days, we were all there together. So don't feel like your group has to be there right at that designated time, because there will be a really big line. All right, so if you want to come 10 minutes after, that's fine. You just missed the line that way. All right, so dinner's at 5. Worship on Sunday night is at 6 o'clock. All right, 6 o'clock. This year for the students, we have Daniel McLendon, a former staff member here at Houston's First. Him and his wife are bringing their worship team from First Baptist Livingston to lead worship for our session on Sunday night, as well as Monday and Tuesday night. So excited to have Daniel back and hearing his voice again. After worship that first night, which will be Pastor Malcolm from our Siena campus will be speaking that night to the whole camp, preteen and students. We'll do a small group time for about 30 minutes. And so that small group time is there and set up specifically on that Sunday night for you to kind of get to know your group a little bit, as well as to talk a little bit about that message. The theme this year is called Unseen, and Malcolm's going to kind of open that up for us. And the theme Unseen goes on the idea, and the story really, we're going to be looking at the armor of God, and the idea that this armor of God is not something that is seen, but is unseen, but is still something that's present in our lives. So we're going to talk a little bit about that on Sunday and Monday, and then we're going to talk about what is seen is our faith coming out in action. And things like that on Tuesday. And so it's going to be a really cool kind of 1-2 combo for camp this year when it comes to that. And so our theme is Unseen, and obviously because we're doing clans, it's kind of medieval themed, and you'll see that at the worship times in the set for that for sure. Then right after that, we're going to get ready for evening extras, and that evening extra on Sunday night is kind of an all play. So we're going to do a night swim where the pool will be open, and we're going to have the basketball court will be there, gaga ball pits. Things like that. The boats and the cable park and the zip line and the rock wall will not be open, all right? But the other things will. When it comes to evening extras, this is a great time for you to kind of just build kind of teamwork and camaraderie between your group. We're going to have some students there that have never been to camp before. We're going to have some students that are really trying to form some relationships for the very first time, or deepen some relationships. And so these evening extras, these times when we're just playing together, are a really good time to form some relationships. And so you'll want to make sure you know where your students are. Obviously, we want you to be with them too. All right, and so that's going to be that first night. We'll do a snack around 9:30, and then we'll be in cabins by 10, a little early that night, honestly, so that they can kind of finish getting their bed and all those things set up, get cleaned up, and ready for bed that night with lights out around 10:30. Monday and Tuesday schedule are really the exact same, all right, except for a little bit minor tweak there. But so on Monday and Tuesday, we'll wake up, we'll do breakfast at 8, all right, but that is with both preteen and students. So if you want to show up at 8:15, that's totally fine. We are going to do a leaders meeting at 8:30, okay, at 8:30, and we'll let you know where that's going to be once we've arrived. Depending on where children's the preteen staff meets, we'll meet in a different location at 8:30. And then right after that, at 9 o'clock, we have a quiet time. All right, so breakfast will run from 8 to 9, and then at 9 o'clock, we're going to do a quiet time. Hannah Stovall at our Cypress campus has written some amazing devotionals for each of our mornings, and they will be in the booklet that you and your students will get on Sunday night. And so the idea of the quiet time is we'd love for you as a small group leader to pull your group together, kind of settle them down after breakfast, because you're going to gather them up again, because what's going to happen is they're going to go to breakfast, and then they're going to get done eating, and they're going to go play basketball, they're going to go play gaga ball, or they're going to do something like that, right? And so you'll pull them back in at 9 o'clock. Hey, I want you guys to meet me at this spot, whatever that spot for you is. And then you guys sit down, you spread out a little bit, give them about 10-15 minutes to do their devotional on their own, and then pull them back together and kind of talk through a little bit about maybe what they heard or what they wrote down, some different things like that. So it's just not something that's, oh yeah, I did it and then I forgot, right? Because we also don't want it to be a 30-minute nap time for them after breakfast. At 9:30, we'll transition to a kind of a newer element to Camp Intersect for the students. It's called Missions Moment. Camp Intersect is 90% camp and 10% missions, right? And so we want to begin, our church is obviously very, very big into missions, and we are as well here in the student ministry. And so we really want to start instilling the idea in our students why we do missions and what does that look like, and what does that look like for us, what does that look like for others, how do we do that in our church, how do we do that in our community, in our schools, in our homes. And so Missions Moment is going to be from 9:30 to 10:30, and for each campus will actually have their own missions moment, right? So Cypress will have that time on their own. Sienna will have that time together, as well as the Luke here. And so what's really neat is it's also kind of this church time, right, where you kind of each group has the opportunity to be together as a campus to talk about camp as well as what is missions and what are we doing and how are we doing this, right? And so that's a newer element. Right after Missions Moment is recreation. All right, recreation is organized recreation. All right, and that means you need to be there and be organized with us as well. All right, and so one of the days we're going to be doing some field games that are going to be quite messy, and so you'll see some of that stuff on the what to bring list. So you'll want to make sure you bring some things that can get a little nasty. And then the other day you're going to be doing some of the low ropes courses that they offer at Carolina Creek, and so that's going to be a lot of fun. Our groups really enjoyed that last year. And so if you are interested in being a part of that, wanting you to really get into that, right? You don't have to organize it or staff it or anything like that. The Carolina Creek staff does all that for us, which is great. You just be a part and be with your group, learning and struggling and succeeding all together. And so it's a really, really fun thing. And so we'll do that one day for recreation, and the other day we'll get a little messy, which will be great. We'll then leave right from rec and we'll go to lunch. Yes, there'll be some time to kind of wash up, clean up a little bit there in transition, but lunch will be from 12 to 12:30, and you'll go as a group to go do that. And then at 12:30 is free time. All right, let me talk to you a little bit about free time. Free time, you remember some of those things I talked to you about on the map of things that we have, right? We've got the rock wall and zip line, we have the pool, we have the basketball courts, we have the gaga ball, we have the 9 square in the air. We have the rock dock with the slide and the blob. We have the cable park and the lagoon where the inflatables and the cliff jumps and the boat, right? We have a lot of stuff, right? And so free time is from 12:30 to 3:30, right? So it's 3 hours, right? That's a good amount of free time. Here's what I need you to do as a leader. I need you to do free time with your students, all right? Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that all of your students are going to want to go to the pool at the same time. Okay, I understand that, right? So you're going to have anywhere from 6 to 8 students in your group, right? And so let's say all of your group wants to do that. Perfect. You're going to the pool with them, right? If half of them want to do that and you talk to another leader and the other half wants to go with somebody else, that's fine too, all right? They can go with that other leader in that group, all right? We just don't want students walking by themselves or really in pairs of 2. We'd rather have them in groups of 3 or more. All right, and so we want to make sure you know where they are because that's going to make it easier for you whenever they need to be back somewhere. Otherwise, you're going to have to go out searching for them, and nobody wants to do that in the middle of June. And so know where your students are and join them. All right, have some fun. Do the zip line, right? Climb the rock wall. Jump off the cliff with them. It's a lot of fun, I promise. All right, so that's going to be free time. One of the other elements that we're going to have in free time that is brand new this year is we are going to have a craft. Yes, all of the DIYs and Pinterest things have finally infected Camp Intersect, and we're going to have an indoor craft option on Monday and Tuesday. It'll be from 2 to 4. All right, so that doesn't quite fill in all of our time. All right, and so it gives us a little bit of time, gives our students about an hour and a half of that time, but it'll be from 2 to 4. So if your students want to be a part of that, join them. All right, I have no idea what those crafts are going to be right now, but it'll be fun. And if you have students that want to get out of the heat or got sunburnt on the first day, it's a really good option, okay? At 3:30, so right after free time, is something called Feet on the Bunk, right? And that's exactly what it sounds like, right? Your feet need to be on the bunk, which means you need to kind of be chilling, relaxing. And so at this point, we're asking that groups and leaders have your students indoors. All right. I know that that may be hard, but trust me, these students are going to need the time to chill. All right. These are 11 and 12-year-olds who are going to be, run ragged for 3.5 days, 4 days straight. All right. So we want to make sure that they get rest when they can. All right. They're not saying, all right, this is nap time. All right. No, I'm not saying that, but they just need to be indoors, relaxing, chilling, things like that. I'm sure they're going to be spinning some spinners, all right, and fidgeting some cubes or whatever, right? But it's an opportunity also for them to shower after being in the lake or being in the pool or sweating on the basketball court, all right? So take that opportunity. We want them to shower, okay? We want them to shower. We definitely don't want them to stink, all right? And so after Feet on the Bunk, we have dinner, which is at 5 o'clock, and so students will go do dinner from 5 to 5:30, and then worship starts at 6, okay? So worship is directly after dinner. Students don't need to necessarily dress up for worship. Some students like to do that, and that's okay, but don't feel like you have to. You can wear your shorts and chacos by all means. We will just ask guys not to wear baseball caps during worship. And so we'll do worship, and then after worship, we'll do small groups, right? And so I'll be speaking on both Monday and Tuesday nights for our side of camp for worship. And so in the booklet, there will be some spaces and some places for students to write notes and take things down. So I encourage you to encourage them to have those books and their Bible, of course, taking notes. All right, it's a good habit for our middle schoolers to start getting in as they start getting into middle school and then into high school. After worship and small groups, we'll do a snack. Right. So what's better than finishing small groups and getting right and getting a snack? All right. So we'll do a snack. The camp will provide that, and then right after the snack, we will do kind of getting ready for our evening extras. All right, and so one of the nights we're going to be in the worship center doing our evening extras, and the other night we're going to be outside doing our evening extras. All right, so plan on both. All right, and imagine the outside one will be a little messy. Okay, so make sure you bring another change of clothes that can be potentially just thrown away. Right, that's kind of my mentality with it. Is if I can just throw it out, even better. Right, so plan on that, and then after our evening extras, we get in our cabins around 10:30, and then get ready. Cleaned up and ready for bed at 11. So that's kind of the schedule for Monday and Tuesday. The only thing that's going to be a little bit different is on Tuesday, if you are a 7th grade small group leader, your group is going to take 2 hours of free time, the first 2 hours of free time, and you guys are actually going to do a mission project at Carolina Creek, right? Because we're 10% missions and 90% camp. So we're going to give our 7th graders an opportunity to do a mission project right at Camp Intersect, right? And so from 12:30 to 2:30, students are going to have that opportunity to do a mission project. It's not optional; it's a requirement. And so if you're with a 7th grade group, that's what you're going to do. They'll still have another hour of free time after that to go swimming or whatever, but we want to give them an opportunity, and we want them to see the importance of serving others, right? Because that's the same group that could potentially be going to Rush Week. And if they're not going to Rush Week and just Camp Intersect, we want to make sure our 7th graders have had some mission opportunities before their 8th grade year. So that's what we'll do on that Tuesday. Wednesday, we'll do breakfast same way. We'll do quiet time the same way you've been doing it those days. And then we go back to our cabins and do some cleaning, right? Sweeping, making sure you get the last pair of socks, throwing that thing away, pulling things off the clotheslines that have been drying all week, right? We're going to get all those things cleaned up, and then after breakfast and quiet time, after they've cleaned, they're going to bring all their stuff to a specific loading zone by the dining hall. All right, so when the buses arrive, we can load some stuff in. All right, if you've been to Camp Intersect before and you've been specifically to Carolina Creek, at this time we've typically walked all the way down to the lake's edge down at that outdoor chapel. We're not doing that this year. It's really hot, and it's a long walk for about 20 minutes of talking. So instead, we're going to use the nice basketball courts that's covered and has a sound system already set up to do some final worship, and then a final challenge between myself and the preteens worship speaker as well. So we're going to do that. We'll do a camp picture, and then we will load and leave. And as we leave and get on the buses, all right, everybody's going to get a snack and a bottle of water. So it'll be opportunity for them to have a little bit of a snack post-breakfast on the way home before we get back at the church by 12:30 for their parents to pick them up. Okay, so that is kind of where we're at with the schedule and what it looks like for Camp Intersect.
It's intermission time, folks, so hurry, hurry, hurry.
So we've already talked a little bit about what quiet time and the small group time is going to look like. You as a small group leader have a really good opportunity to really invest and help these students in this transition. We've already talked about this, where the new sixth graders are going to be so excited to be in student ministry and how camp's going to be different. And you have a great responsibility and privilege into helping them make that difference. So have fun with them, get to know them, have a blast, right? Play with them, right? I'm going to be out there playing right alongside, all right? And so we want you guys to do that as well. A couple things I need to let you know about. First is that if you have not done your child protection training, right, online, we emailed you that link. If you've not yet done that, I need you to go online and do that. Some of you, it does expire, and so that's why I need you to go online and do that. We have to fill out certificates for everybody, and so if you've not done that, please go online and do that ASAP, all right? We need that done. And then in this email, I'm also attaching the Carolina Creek participation waiver, which is something you need to sign saying I'm not going to sue anybody, things like that, right? And then also there's a house rules, right, just so that you know what some of their rules are for Carolina Creek. And so we'll have you sign that, and we'll have you sign both those forms and do the child protection training. If you've not filled out a Next Gen volunteer app, you also need to do that. Now, this is probably specifically for our interns. If you've not filled one of those out as part of the intern process yet, you need to do that. That's just part of our protocol here at Houston's First. And so if you are an adult that's going with us and you've not filled that out, I need that as well. And then attached to this email, you'll also see a what to bring list, right? The things that we need you to bring, to make sure you have the water shoes or this or that or the other, right? And so we'll have that posted. You can make sure you have all of those things checked off in your bag for that day. If you are a part of our rec team, right? If you're a high school student and you're part of our rec team and you're hearing this, we want you to make sure we have an updated medical release form, as well as a medication form. If there's certain medications or whatever that we need you to bring, that's a form here as well that we need. The participation waiver from Carolina Creek, we also need you to do that. And then if you are 16 years or older, you need to also do the child protection training, okay? So that means you need to go online, you need to watch all 4 of those videos, and you need to do the test and submit that, and we'll get that graded and sent to you, okay? So want to make sure that you guys have that and that all of that is set. I'm so excited about Camp Intersect this year. This is going to be my 6th Camp Intersect here with Houston's First, and I'm excited about what God is going to do. It is a very fun camp. And God always seems to work in the lives of our students at Camp Intersect. So if you are not yet excited, get excited. All right. If you have not yet sent in your clan names, send me your clan names, please. They can be as silly and ridiculous as you want. All right. But it's going to be a good fun time, and it's going to add an element to camp. So we want you to do that as well. We are excited about you. Thank you so much for being a part of Camp Intersect. You are a part of God's plan in changing the lives of these students this summer. And I'm excited to see how that all unfolds this summer at Camp Intersect. I'm going to pray for you, and once you have finished this video, once you've watched it all, please send me an email to let me know that you have watched this video and that you've heard all the things you need to hear. Okay? Let's pray. God, we love you, we thank you, and we praise you for all the blessings and all the things that you've provided. We pray for Camp Intersect specifically right now. God, that you would do amazing things as you've done years and years and years of Camp Intersect. The lives would be changed, that students would grow closer to you and grow closer together, God. I'm excited about all that you have in store for camp this summer. I pray for these leaders, prepare their hearts, prepare their minds, and prepare their bodies for Camp Intersect and the fun and the outdoors and the activity that we'll all get to do. God, we thank you so much for your many blessings. We just thank you and we praise you. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Thank you guys so much again for watching this. I know it was a little long, but I appreciate your time. And don't forget, please email me. Let me know that you finished and completed this video. Have a great day.